You were chosen, not after you were born, not during some pivotal moment, before. Long before your first breath, your entire life was designed. Every person you would meet, every challenge you would face, every gift you would carry. All of it mapped. And I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to remember. Because right now you've experienced at least 3 of these. A skill that came unnaturally easy, like you'd practiced it in another lifetime. Knowing things seconds before they happened, not anxiety, but certainty. Meeting someone and feeling instant recognition, like coming home to a soul you've known for thousands of years. Surviving something that statistically should have ended you. Impossible timing, unexplainable luck. Knowledge you were never taught. Topics that just make sense. Wisdom that doesn't match your years. Homesickness for a place that doesn't exist. Longing for something you can't name. These aren't coincidences. They're signatures. Proof that you existed before this life. That you planned this life. That you chose this life. And for over 2,400 years, 7 ancient sources have been trying to tell you this truth. Plato documented it in 375 BCE. The Vedas described it 3,000 years ago. The Tibetan Book of the Dead mapped the exact journey. Ancient Egypt taught it in mystery schools. Kabbalah preserved it in secret. Carl Jung rediscovered it through psychology. And a forbidden manuscript from 823 AD, the Codex Animae, synthesized it all, then was hunted, burned, nearly erased. Why? Because if you knew you chose this life, you'd stop being controllable. You'd stop seeking salvation from external authorities. You'd stop living in fear. You'd remember what you've always been, an eternal soul on a deliberately designed journey. But here's what nobody tells you. Planning a life before birth is one thing. Actually living it after you forget everything, that's where it gets complicated. Because between the blueprint you created and the life you're actually living, something went wrong. And today, I'm going to show you not just the proof that you planned this life, but what happened between the planning and the living. The 3 mistakes souls make before birth. The exact points where your life diverged from your blueprint. And most importantly, how to course correct and get back on track. This isn't just about understanding your past. It's about reclaiming your future. Chapter 1. You already know this is true. Let me show you something you've felt your entire life but couldn't name. That restlessness inside you. That sense you're meant for something specific. That pull toward a purpose you can't quite articulate. Where does that come from? Society didn't program it. Usually society tells you to ignore it. Be realistic. Play it safe. Your family might not understand it. Your culture might suppress it. Yet it persists. Like a song you can't forget but never learned. That's not hope. That's not ambition. That's your soul remembering the plan. And here's how you know this is real. You have patterns in your life that repeat with mathematical precision. Different people. Different circumstances. Same lesson. Maybe you keep attracting relationships where you're undervalued. Different partners. Same abandonment. Same wound. Why? Because you're learning something. Something your soul chose to master in this lifetime. And it will keep presenting itself. Different faces, same essence, until you get it. Or jobs where your talents go ignored. Different companies. Different bosses. Same experience of being invisible. That's not bad luck. That's curriculum. Before you were born, you looked at your past lives and saw this lesson incomplete. So you designed this life to give you repeated opportunities to learn it. The relationship pattern? You're mastering self-worth independent of external validation. The career pattern? You're learning to value yourself first, trust your gifts regardless of recognition. The boundary pattern? You're breaking generational people-pleasing cycles. You chose these challenges the way a student chooses a course, not for punishment, for mastery. And here's evidence you can't deny. You possess knowledge you were never formally taught. That moment when you picked up an instrument and your fingers already knew where to go. When you started learning a language and the grammar felt like remembering, not studying. When you understood complex systems without training. It just clicked. Everyone dismisses this as natural talent. But genetics don't encode piano technique. DNA doesn't store healing knowledge. Your genes don't remember languages you've never heard. This is cellular memory, soul memory. You did this before, in another life, and you chose to bring it forward because it's essential for your mission here. Think right now. What's your unexplainable skill? That thing you're good at that doesn't match your environment, your upbringing, your formal education? That's not random. That's something you encoded before birth. Then there are the synchronicities, impossible timing that defies probability. You think of someone you haven't contacted in years. They call within minutes. You need specific information. You randomly open a book to that exact page. You change your route for no logical reason. Later, you discover you avoided disaster. You meet the exact right person at the exact impossible moment who changes everything. These moments feel different. They carry weight, meaning, like invisible hands guiding you back to a path you can't see but somehow recognize. That's because there is a path. You mapped it before you were born. Key moments, certain people, specific redirections. When you drift too far from the blueprint, synchronicities activate. Course corrections. That person who appeared at the perfect time? You made an agreement with their soul before birth. That book that caught your attention? Your higher self directing you. That inexplicable knowing to turn left instead of right. Your soul remembering the plan. And here's the deepest proof. You recognize certain souls instantly. Not everyone, but some people, the moment you meet them, you know. Reunion, not introduction. Remembering, not discovering. Or the opposite, someone triggers you immediately. Instant discomfort, but you know they're significant. Both are soul recognition. Before birth, you didn't plan this journey alone. You coordinated with other souls, your group. Consciousnesses you've traveled with across lifetimes. Sometimes as family, sometimes as friends, sometimes as enemies who teach your hardest lessons. You take turns, different roles, mutual learning. Your spouse in this life might have been your parent in another. Your rival might have been your teacher. When you meet someone from your soul group, recognition happens beneath words. That's why some relationships feel destined, because they are. You made agreements before birth, to meet, to teach each other, to grow together. Look at your life right now. The people who have impacted you most aren't random. They're contracted souls fulfilling agreements made in a realm beyond time. This is how you know. Not because I'm telling you, but because something inside you has always known. You're not learning new information. You're remembering. Chapter 2. The 7 Ancient Witnesses. Now let me show you why this truth has survived the thousands of years. 7 sources. Completely independent. Separated by continents and centuries. All describing the exact same process. Ancient Greece. 375 BCE. Plato documented a soldier named who died in battle, visited the space between lives, and returned with a truth that shattered philosophy. Souls standing before the fates. But the fates didn't assign destinies. They offered choices. Souls selected their next lives from possibilities. Some chose wealth and learned corruption. Others chose poverty and found wisdom. Plato wrote, "The responsibility lies with the chooser. The divine is blameless." You chose. Not the gods. You, the souls who chose wisely, had learned from past incarnations. This wasn't philosophy to Plato. This was witness truth. And he died mysteriously shortly after. The knowledge was too dangerous. Ancient India, 1500 BCE. The Vedic texts describe this with scientific precision. As a person discards worn-out clothes and puts on new ones, so the soul discards worn-out bodies and enters new ones. But deeper texts describe what happens between lives. The soul reviews every action from its previous incarnation and feels the consequences from every perspective. Hurt someone? Experience their pain. Brought joy? Feel their happiness. Not punishment. Information. Based on this review, the soul gravitates towards circumstances that balance what needs balancing. Cruel in one life? Choose conditions that teach compassion. Greedy? Select scarcity to develop generosity. This is karma, not cosmic revenge, but intelligent self-design. Tibet, 8th century. The Tibetan Book of the Dead describes 49 days between death and rebirth with clinical detail. 3 bardos, 3 intermediate states. In the third, Sidpa Bardo, you prepare for rebirth. The soul watches potential parents and feels magnetically drawn based on karmic resonance. Unresolved authority issues. Choose authoritarian parents. Need to learn patience? Select chaotic circumstances. Breaking generational trauma? Pick a family lineage carrying that wound. The text describes the moment before birth. A flash of resistance before accepting physical limitation. Then consciousness compresses. You forget you're born. Ancient Egypt, 3000 BCE. Before birth, the soul appears before Ma'at, cosmic order, not judgment after death, but planning before life. The Book of Coming Forth by Day describes souls reviewing multiple potential incarnations. Each life shown as a vision, challenges, relationships, duration, purpose. The soul chooses, knowing it will forget. Egyptians called this the sacred forgetting, essential for the journey to feel real. Jerusalem, 200 CE. In Kabbalah, the angel Lailah has one function. Before birth, Lailah tours the soul through its upcoming life and shows its destiny, potential pathways, challenges it will face, souls it will meet, lessons it will learn. The soul understands everything. Then, just before birth, Lailah touches the soul above the lip, creating the philtrum, the indent between the nose and upper lip every human has. And the soul forgets everything. Why? Knowledge without experience is hollow. The soul must live the lessons. Kabbalists teach you can access what Lailah showed you. Déjà vu, dreams more real than reality. Sudden knowings. Lailah's teaching breaking through the veil. Vienna, 1950s. Carl Jung wasn't mystical, he was a scientist. But he discovered people living out patterns they never consciously chose. Archetypes, inherited blueprints in the collective unconscious. Jung proposed something radical. What if these patterns were chosen before birth? Patients described dreams and visions of their lives before conception. Selecting parents, designing traumas, programming gifts. Jung called this the unchosen life script, a paradox. The script feels unchosen because we forgot choosing it. Becoming who you truly are isn't about creating yourself. It's about remembering what you chose to be. 823 AD, the forbidden synthesis. A secret order called the Codex Animae spent 40 years documenting over 2,000 testimonies. Through deep meditation, people accessed memories of pre-birth planning. All described the same process: reviewing past lives, meeting councils of wise beings, choosing parents, bodies, challenges, gifts, making soul contracts, crossing the veil. The Codex Animae wasn't religious, it was systematic research, and it was declared heretical by every institution. Vatican ordered it destroyed. Islamic scholars banned it. Royal courts suppressed it. Why? Section 4 stated, "The soul chooses its suffering, and in choosing transforms all pain into purpose. No external authority can grant salvation." If people knew this, institutional power would collapse. Most copies burned, but fragments survived, hidden, preserved. 7 witnesses across 4,000 years, all saying, Before birth, you planned this life. Now let me show you exactly how you did it. According to the Codex Animae, every soul passes through 8 chambers before incarnation. This isn't theory, this is the process you went through. Chamber 1. The call. It begins with readiness. In the space between lives, souls exist at different frequencies. Some rest, some learn, some guide. But at a specific moment, a call goes out, not a voice. A frequency your soul recognizes. When you hear it, you know. Time to grow again, time to return. This isn't forced. You respond because your soul craves evolution, like lungs crave air. Chamber 2. The Great Review. Before designing forward, you look backward completely. You experience a total review of your most recent life, often many before it. Not judgment, but radical empathy. You feel every action from the perspective of those you affected. Hurt someone? Experience their exact pain. Brought joy? Feel their happiness. This is where karma is understood. Not punishment, consequence, information, balance. The review shows what's unresolved, what lessons remain, what gifts you've developed, and what shadows you carry. Perfect preparation for what's next. Chamber 3. The Council. Now you meet beings of extraordinary wisdom, guides, masters, elders. They don't command or judge. They help you clarify intention. What did I learn last time? What patterns am I repeating? What does my soul want to master? This is where your mission crystallizes. One teaching describes a soul wanting to do deep trauma healing. The council showed 2 paths. Path 1, stability and ease, formal training, technical skill. Path 2, severe trauma, nearly destroyed, but depth to truly heal others. The soul chose path 2. Why? The first path makes me skilled but shallow. The second breaks me open, gives me lived experience. When I say, I understand, they'll know I do. It's harder, but it makes me the healer I came to be. The council helps you see the deeper implications of each choice. Chamber 4, choosing the vessel. Now the controversial part. Choosing your body, genetics, parents, circumstances. Every variable considered with precision. The soul observes potential parents, feeling karmic resonance. Which family provides the exact friction needed for growth? Why would anyone choose poverty, abuse, disability? Because the soul doesn't optimize for comfort. It optimizes for evolution. Poverty teaches resourcefulness, gratitude, detachment from materialism. Difficult parents force boundaries, break generational cycles, build inner strength. Challenged bodies cultivate power, compassion, and the knowing that you're not your form. You choose what will forge you. One teaching, a soul choosing severe physical limitation. Why? In my last 3 lives, I defined myself by physical strength, became arrogant, looked down on limitations. I need to learn my value isn't in my body. That soul became a renowned teacher. The limitation became their platform. Nothing is punishment. Everything is curriculum. Chamber 5. The soul contracts. You don't plan alone. You coordinate with other souls playing major roles. Contracts, agreements about relationships, lessons, mutual growth. Your parents, you chose them. They chose you. Mutual teaching. Your soulmate, you planned to meet before either of you was born. Your antagonist, often your deepest contract, a soul agreeing to play the difficult role. Your children, they chose you as their parent, as you chose them as your teacher. Even brief encounters, strangers saying exactly what you needed, are contracted moments. One teaching. A soul whose abusive parent appeared in a past life as their beloved child whom they'd abandoned. They switched roles to experience abandonment from both sides, to heal the pattern completely. These aren't bondage. They're collaboration. working together across lifetimes to help each other evolve. Chamber 6. Encoding your gifts. Now you select specific talents to bring forward, precisely calibrated tools for your mission. Natural empathy. Encoded because your work involves healing. Analytical brilliance. Selected because your mission requires innovation. Creative ability. Embedded because your purpose involves new perspectives. The Codex calls this the soul's inheritance. Abilities developed across lifetimes, brought forward because they're essential. That skill that feels effortless, that subject you grasp instantly. You chose to bring it forward. It's in your blueprint. Chamber 7. Designing your challenges. Here you deliberately select obstacles, losses, pain, not punishment, catalysts. The Codex. The soul chooses suffering the way a sculptor chooses stone, as the medium through which form emerges. You choose heartbreak that will teach self-love. You select failure that will humble ego and reveal resilience. You program illness that will force inward spiritual awakening. You design loss that will show what truly matters. Precision instruments for transformation. One teaching. A soul choosing to die young. Why? My brief life will shatter my father's materialism. He'll spend his life seeking spiritual answers and eventually help thousands find meaning in loss. My death has purpose. Another. Choosing severe addiction. Not as failure, but as complete ego death, allowing awakening and a mission helping others recover. Your challenges aren't punishments. They're training programs designed by your own wisdom. Chamber 8. The veil. The final chamber. Most crucial. You stand at the threshold. You know everything. Past lives, soul contracts, mission, challenges. And now you agree to forget it all. Lailah touches your lip. Consciousness compresses. You forget your past. The council, the contracts, the plan. Why? If you remembered, the journey wouldn't be authentic. No stakes, no growth, no discovery. The veil ensures every decision is real, every emotion genuine, and every lesson earned. But forgetting isn't total. The veil thins in places. Dreams more real than waking. Synchronicities, déjà vu, meditation, crisis wisdom. Your soul leaves signs. The veil makes the journey real, but it's thin enough to remember when you're ready. Chapter 4. The 3 mistakes souls make. Now here's what the ancient texts rarely mention, but it's the most important part for you right now. Because knowing you planned this life is one thing. Understanding why it doesn't feel like you're living it, that's another. Between the blueprint you created and the life you're actually living, something happened, and it's not your fault. Because before birth, souls make 3 critical mistakes. Mistake 1. Underestimating the veil. Before birth, you're pure consciousness. You see your whole life clearly. Every chapter mapped. You think, I'll remember. When the moment comes, I'll know what to do. You believe the veil will be like a light fog, easy to see through, simple to navigate. So you don't build in enough reminders, enough signposts, enough emergency protocols. Then you incarnate. And the veil isn't missed. It's a total blackout. You don't just forget the plan. You forget you made a plan. You forget you're eternal. You forget you chose this. You forget everything. And without that memory, you default to programming. Your parents' expectations, your culture's definition of success, your trauma responses, your survival patterns, none of which match what your soul actually chose. So you spend decades, sometimes your entire life, living someone else's blueprint, following paths you never chose, playing roles that don't fit, pursuing goals that mean nothing to your soul. Meanwhile, your real blueprint sits dormant, sending distress signals you can't decode. That restlessness, that's your soul saying, this isn't the plan. That dissatisfaction despite external success, your off blueprint, that feeling something's missing, You forgot what you came here to do. Most people dismiss these signals as ingratitude, depression, or a quarter-life crisis. But they're not psychological problems. They're navigational alerts from your soul. Mistake 2. Choosing too much. In the pre-birth realm, you feel invincible. You're not in a body, no pain, no exhaustion, no limitations, no fear. So you look at your potential life and think, I can handle that challenge, and that one too. Actually, let me add 3 more for maximum growth. You pack your blueprint with back-to-back initiations. Difficult childhood for resilience. Toxic relationship for boundaries. Career failure for humility. Health crisis for spiritual awakening. Loss for compassion. You design a life that would challenge an enlightened master. Then you incarnate into a fragile human body, with a nervous system that gets overwhelmed, emotions that flood, energy that depletes. You forget you're eternal. You forget you chose this, and you wonder why everything feels so hard, why you can't catch a break. Why, when one thing resolves, 3 more problems appear. It's not bad luck. It's overambitious soul planning. You chose a PhD-level curriculum and showed up with amnesia thinking it's kindergarten. The ancient texts describe this as the burden of the courageous soul. Before birth, courage looks like choosing more challenges. After birth, courage looks like surviving what you chose. Most souls underestimate how difficult it is to be human, how heavy the body feels, how loud the mind is, how overwhelming emotions become. In the pre-birth realm, you can hold the perspective that all suffering serves growth. In a human body, suffering just hurts. And when you're carrying a blueprint packed with challenges you don't remember choosing, it can feel like life is punishing you. But it's not. You're just experiencing exactly what you selected, too much of it. Mistake 3. Not accounting for free will interference. This is the mistake that derails even the most carefully planned lives. You create a beautiful blueprint. Perfect timing, ideal soul contracts, precise challenges. You plan to meet your soulmate at 25, your mentor at 30, your business partner at 35. You design moments where specific people will say specific things that trigger specific awakenings. But here's what you forget. You're not the only consciousness with free will. Every person in your life has their own blueprint, their own contracts, their own choice points, and they can go off script. Your soulmate might choose fear instead of love and never show up at 25. Your mentor might get so lost in their own trauma that they miss the meeting point at 30. Your business partner might choose the safe path and never take the risk at 35. Your parents might deviate so far from their own blueprint that they can't provide what you needed. One person going off script creates ripples in your plan. Dozens of people going off script. Total chaos. Suddenly, the life you meticulously designed looks nothing like what you're living. The person who was supposed to guide you never appeared. The opportunity that was supposed to open got blocked by someone else's fear. The relationship that was supposed to heal you turned toxic because the other person chose their wounds over growth, and you're left feeling like you're in the wrong timeline. Like somewhere there's another version of you living the life this you was supposed to live. And you're right. There is another version, the blueprint version, but you're living in the reality version, where free will interference, the veil of forgetting and overambitious planning collided to create a life that feels off. Not completely wrong, just misaligned. Like you're 15 degrees off course. Not catastrophically lost, but not where you're supposed to be. And every year you stay off blueprint, the gap widens. Chapter 5. The signatures of being off blueprint. So how do you know if you're off blueprint? Here are the 7 signatures that reveal you've diverged from your soul's original plan. Signature 1. Dormant gifts. You have talents you're not using, not hobbies you haven't gotten around to. Actual encoded gifts that your soul brought forward for your mission, but you keep them locked away because they're not practical, or won't make money, or people will think I'm weird. Maybe you're a natural healer, but you work in corporate finance. Maybe you're a gifted teacher, but you're stuck in administration. Maybe you're meant to create, but you've convinced yourself it's just a hobby. These dormant gifts create a specific kind of suffering. Not dramatic pain, quiet desperation, a sense that you're wasting your life, even when you're successful by external standards. That's your soul screaming, "This isn't what we came here to do." Signature 2. Misaligned relationships. You're in relationships that feel off. Not abusive necessarily, not terrible, just wrong. Like you're with good people, but they're not your people. You're playing a role in someone else's story instead of living your own. This happens when soul contracts don't activate properly. Maybe your actual soulmate chose fear and never showed up, so you settled for someone who fits on paper but doesn't fit your soul. Maybe your soul group members are still finding their way. So you're surrounded by people who love you but don't understand you. These relationships aren't bad. They're just not what you planned, and your soul knows it. Signature 3. Repeating obstacles. You keep hitting the same wall, different circumstances, same barrier. You overcome it in your career. It shows up in your relationships. You heal it in your relationships. It appears in your health. You address it in your health. It manifests in your finances. This happens when you're trying to learn a lesson your soul chose, but you're approaching it the wrong way, or you're learning it in the wrong domain. Your soul encoded a specific challenge to develop a specific quality. But because you forgot the plan, you're encountering the challenge in different forms, not recognizing it's the same lesson. Signature 4. Dream life disconnection. You have recurring dreams about a life you're not living. Places that feel like home, but you've never been there. Work that feels purposeful, but you're not doing it. Relationships that feel right, but you're not in them. These aren't fantasies or escapism. They're your soul showing you the blueprint. During sleep, the veil thins. Your consciousness reconnects with your higher self, and your higher self shows you, this is what we planned. When you wake up and that life isn't your reality, you feel grief. Not for a fantasy. For a plan you forgot. Signature 5. Purposeless success. You've achieved things, maybe a lot of things. Good career, nice home, financial stability, relationship, family. Everything society says should make you happy. But it doesn't. You feel empty despite the achievements, restless despite the security. This is the signature of living someone else's blueprint. You accomplished what your parents wanted, what your culture values, what your conditioning programmed. But none of it matches what your soul actually came here to do. So you have success without fulfillment, achievement without meaning, recognition without purpose. Signature 6. Chronic almost. You keep getting close to something, but never quite reaching it. Almost landed the dream job. Almost met the right person. Almost started the business. Almost moved to that place. Almost. 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 This happens when you're approaching your blueprint, but free will interference keeps blocking the final step. Or when you're trying to activate your mission, but you haven't cleared the blocks preventing it. You can feel you're close. Your soul knows you're circling the right territory, but something keeps preventing completion. Signature 7. The homesickness. You feel homesick, but you're already home. Like you're in the wrong timeline, wrong version of your life. Not depression, not dissatisfaction with what you have. A specific knowing that somewhere there's a life more aligned with who you really are. This is your soul remembering the blueprint. Before birth, you saw the ideal version of this life. Now you're living the actual version, impacted by the veil, over-ambitious planning, and free will interference. And your soul can feel the gap. If you recognized even 3 of these signatures, you're off blueprint. not catastrophically, but enough that your soul is sending signals. And here's what's crucial to understand. Being off blueprint isn't failure. It's normal. Almost every soul diverges from their original plan. The veil is stronger than we expect. The challenges harder than we planned. The interference more disruptive than we anticipated. But here's what changes everything. You can course correct. You don't have to blow up your life. Abandon everything. Start over. You just need to realign. Make precise adjustments that bring you back to your soul's original design. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you. Chapter 6. The Course Correction Protocols. The Codex Animae doesn't just document pre-birth planning. It contains rescue protocols, emergency navigation for souls who went off blueprint. Because the ancient mystics knew planning is one thing, living is another, and every soul needs course correction. Here are the 5 protocols for realigning with your original blueprint. Protocol 1. Blueprint recovery through pattern analysis. Your current life contains clues to your original plan. Even off blueprint, fragments of your design are still visible. Take out paper. Draw a timeline from birth to now. Mark every major event, every relationship, every challenge, every turning point. Now look for patterns. What keeps showing up? What themes repeat? These repetitions aren't random. They're your soul trying to complete what you planned. Maybe healing appears constantly. Different forms, physical, emotional, relational, but always healing. That's probably your core mission, what you encoded before birth. Maybe teaching shows up everywhere. You're always explaining things, helping people understand, translating complexity. That's likely your encoded gift trying to activate. Maybe loss is a recurring theme. People leaving, opportunities ending, chapters closing. That's probably a specific lesson you chose. Learning non-attachment, developing inner stability, understanding impermanence. The patterns aren't problems to fix. They're breadcrumbs leading back to your blueprint. Write down the 3 strongest patterns in your life. Those are your soul's primary intentions for this incarnation. Now ask, am I honoring these patterns or fighting them? If you're meant to heal, but you're in finance, you're off blueprint. If you're meant to teach, but you're hiding your knowledge, you're off blueprint. If you're meant to learn non-attachment, but you're clinging to relationships that ended, you're off blueprint. Pattern recognition reveals the plan. Honoring the patterns realigns you with it. Protocol 2. Soul contract renegotiation. Some contracts didn't activate because the other person went off script. Your soulmate chose fear. Your mentor got lost. Your collaborator played small. You can't force them back on path. Their free will is sovereign, but you can call in replacement contracts. Before birth, you didn't just plan one soulmate. You planned multiple potential partners from your soul group. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. If Plan A chose differently, Plan B is still out there. Same with mentors, business partners, friends, teachers. Your soul group is vast. Multiple members can fulfill similar roles. Here's how to activate replacement contracts. Identify which contracts haven't activated. Who was supposed to show up but didn't? What relationship was supposed to form but hasn't? What collaboration was supposed to happen but got blocked? Then consciously release the original person, not with resentment, with understanding that they made their own choices. Say it out loud. I release name or role from our soul contract. They chose their path. I honor their choice, and I now call in the soul who is ready to fulfill this contract. Then pay attention. Within weeks, sometimes days, a new person appears. Not the person you expected, but someone who can fulfill that role. This is how you work with free will interference instead of being victimized by it. Protocol 3. Challenge recalibration. Remember mistake 2? Choosing too much? You can't remove challenges you already chose, but you can recalibrate how you engage them. List your current challenges, the big ones you're facing right now. Then ask for each one. What quality is this teaching me? Difficult relationship. Probably teaching boundaries, self-worth, or discernment. Career obstacle? Probably teaching persistence, creativity, or trust. Health issue? Probably teaching presence, surrender, or self-care. Financial stress? Probably teaching resourcefulness, faith, or detachment from security. Once you identify the quality, you can learn it intentionally instead of through prolonged suffering. If your toxic relationship is teaching boundaries, you don't need to stay in it for 10 years. You can learn boundaries now, set them, enforce them, and complete the lesson in months. If your career obstacle is teaching persistence, you don't need to bang your head against the same wall forever. You can develop persistence through consistent action in a slightly different direction. The challenges won't disappear, but their duration and intensity can shift when you engage them consciously. You accelerate the curriculum instead of prolonging it. Protocol 4. Dormant gift activation. Your encoded gifts are still there, even if you haven't used them. They're waiting for permission to activate. Make a list of 3 gifts you know you have, but aren't expressing. Maybe it's healing, teaching, creating, leading, connecting, visioning. Choose one, just one, and commit to expressing it in the smallest possible way this week. If it's healing, offer to listen deeply to one person. If it's teaching, share one thing you've learned with someone who needs it. If it's creating, make one thing, anything, and share it. If it's leading, take initiative in one small situation. Here's what happens. The moment you give your gift permission to express, energy shifts, synchronicities increase, opportunities appear, the right people show up. Not because you're forcing it, because you're aligning with what your soul encoded. Your blueprint starts reactivating. Start with micro-expressions, one small act, then watch what unfolds. Protocol 5. The pre-birth reconnection meditation. This is the most powerful protocol. It gives you direct access to your original blueprint. Find a quiet space. Close your eyes. Breathe until your body fully relaxes. Imagine moving backward through time. Past this morning, past yesterday, past this year, through your life, past childhood, past birth, past conception. Keep moving backward until you're in a space of pure awareness. No body, no time, just consciousness. You're in the pre-birth realm. Feel yourself in that space where you existed before incarnating. Now imagine you're with your council, the beings who helped you plan this life. They're here, surrounding you with unconditional love. Ask them, what did I originally plan for this life? Don't force an answer. Just listen. Images, feelings, knowings may arise. Where have I diverged from the plan? Stay open to what emerges. What's my next step to realign? Whatever response comes, trust it. Show me the life I came here to live. Let them show you, not in detail, just the essence, the feeling, the direction. When you're ready, thank your counsel. Feel them with you, always guiding you back to the plan. Slowly return, through time, through the veil, into this moment, into your body. Open your eyes, write immediately, everything you experienced. This meditation gives you glimpses of your original blueprint. The more you practice it, the clearer the plan becomes, and the easier it is to course correct in your daily life. Chapter 7. Living the corrected path. Now you understand 3 things. You planned this life before birth. You went off blueprint through the 3 mistakes, and you can course correct using the 5 protocols. But here's what actually matters. What do you do tomorrow? Because knowledge without action is just entertainment. Here's how to live, the corrected path. 1. Daily blueprint alignment check. Every morning before you start your day, ask, is what I'm about to do today aligned with my soul's blueprint? Not is it productive? Not will it make money? Not will people approve? But is this what I came here to do? If the answer is no more than 3 days in a row, something needs to change. You're drifting off blueprint again. 2. Honor the signals. Your soul sends constant signals: restlessness, dissatisfaction, excitement, peace, synchronicities, dreams. Most people ignore these in favor of logic, practicality, and fear. Stop ignoring them. When you feel restless, ask, what wants to change? When you feel dissatisfied, ask, what's misaligned? When you feel excited, ask, what wants to activate? When you feel peace, ask, what am I doing right? Your signals are navigation. Trust them. 3. Express gifts, regardless of outcome. You encoded specific gifts for your mission. Use them, even if they don't make money yet, even if people don't understand, even if it feels impractical. Your soul doesn't care about practicality. It cares about expression. The healer who works in finance but never heals anyone is living off blueprint. The teacher who has wisdom but never shares it is wasting their encoding. The creator who keeps everything private is betraying their mission. Find ways, any ways, to express what you came here to give. 4. Complete the lessons, don't just endure them. When challenges appear, they're not punishment. They're curriculum you chose. Don't just survive them. Learn from them. Extract the lesson. Develop the quality. Integrate the wisdom. Then the challenge can complete instead of repeating. 5. Choose alignment over comfort. Sometimes realigning with your blueprint means uncomfortable changes. Leaving relationships that don't serve your soul. Quitting jobs that use the wrong gifts. Moving to places that match your energy. Starting things before you're ready. Your soul didn't incarnate for comfort. It came for evolution. Choose alignment over comfort every time. 6. Remember you're eternal. When life feels overwhelming, when you feel off track, when you think you've wasted years, remember you're eternal. This life is one of many. One chapter in an infinite book. You can't fail. You can only learn. Even going off blueprint taught you something. Even the detours added wisdom. Nothing is wasted in the soul's journey. You now know what empires tried to erase. 7 ancient sources, from Greece to Tibet, from Egypt to Jerusalem, preserved the truth. Before birth, you existed as pure consciousness. You reviewed past lives, met with wise guides, chose your parents, body, circumstances, challenges, gifts. You made contracts with souls you've known for lifetimes. You designed a blueprint for your evolution. Then you crossed the veil and forgot. And between the forgetting and the living, things went wrong. You underestimated the veil, chose too much, encountered free will interference. And now you're living a life that's 15 degrees off the original plan. But today, that changes. Because you now have the 5 protocols: pattern analysis to recover your blueprint, contract renegotiation to call in new soul group members, challenge recalibration to accelerate your lessons, gift activation to express what you encoded, pre-birth reconnection to access your original design. This isn't just about understanding your past, it's about correcting your future. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are not failing. You're just off blueprint, and now you know how to get back on. Every person who challenges you, part of the design. Every gift you haven't used, waiting to activate. Every signal you've ignored. Navigation back to the plan. Every pattern that repeats. Your soul trying to complete its mission. Your life isn't random. It's recognizable. Not suffering, curriculum, and not chaos, course, correction. If this resonated, comment, "I remember" below. Not just words, a declaration that you're ready to realign, ready to activate what you encoded, ready to complete what you came here to do, ready to live the life you planned before birth. For those ready to go deeper, join the Philosophical Essence newsletter through the link below. You'll receive the complete Codex Animae fragments, the rescue protocols the ancient mystics used for course correction. You didn't find this video by accident. This is your course correction. This is your soul's backup plan engaging. This is the moment you planned for when you knew you'd forget. Your soul chose courage before birth. Now choose it again. Realign with your blueprint. Activate your gifts. Complete your mission. Welcome home, ancient soul. You were chosen long before you were born. And you're finally remembering how to live what you chose.